When I was wrongly wearing a t-shirt I had made for myself by painstakingly stitching these letters in Hebrew onto the back of a white long sleeve t-shirt that I bought from Walmart for like $6, I think was the price, $5.98. I was just getting out of our car where my wife and I parked. We had just arrived, and three Hispanics were passing behind me, and I wouldn't have noticed them except they spoke. One of them said, "I had this shirt on that I'd stitched onto the back, and Moses raised his hand over the sea." Okay, which is what Moses did when the Red Sea parted to let the Hebrews across in their escape from Egypt. Okay, and I say I had wrongly done that because I did not know that it was against Judaism to expose sacred literature that way to public view, because I've read that if you put letters like that on a t-shirt, the t-shirt can get sweaty and soiled and it needs to be laundered and eventually it's going to, wear out, and what's going to happen to it, right? And so, according to Judaism, I've now learned Jews do not want their sacred literature to be treated that way. They want it to be absolutely sacrosanct. So that's something that a Jew would not do. You would not stitch a quotation from the Holy Scriptures onto a T-shirt. You simply would not do that. I did not know because I'm a recent convert to Judaism, and although I know quite a lot about Judaism from that conversion experience and from a lifetime of study, I did not know this. So anyway, I'm getting out of the car and I had this quotation on the back, and this one Hispanic guy says in a loud voice, excuse me, come to church, like that. So what did I do? I ignored him completely. I just ignored him and I went on conversing with my wife in sign language, okay? And I guess he saw I might be deaf, so he just went off. Anyway, I had a point to make with that, and I'm not sure now what the point is. The point might be that I was reading that, my questions to AI about artificial intelligence search box, about what Judaism would think about me stitching, scriptural quotation onto a T-shirt. I don't know why I finally decided to ask. I never suspected there would be a problem with that, but I did learn that there was. No one told me, but as I was asking artificial intelligence search box various questions, I stumbled upon this information about Judaism by accident. It was telling me, do not stitch scriptural quotations onto clothing. Okay? You don't want to walk into unclean places like a bathroom with that scripture. You just don't want to do that. And the other things that I mentioned. So I learned, but here's something where I was reading in these interpretations from artificial intelligence of what I had done, that one of the main arguments against this kind of thing was the abuse Scripture might be put to by, Messianic Jews, or just, missionary type not Jews, but Christians, okay, making use of this kind of thing. So here's an example of where my stitching this message onto the back of my shirt brought me into conflict with Christians. And from that point of view, you might say that I don't know how to put this into words. This response did not come across as a possible one from artificial intelligence, that a scriptural quotation like that might be looked upon as an assertive move by a Jew to assert his belief in a scripture. Nowhere did I ever see in all the questioning that I did to artificial intelligence on this subject, I never saw any interpretation like that ever. You know, that stitching a scriptural quotation onto clothing might be misinterpreted as a Jew trying to be over-assertive about his religion. I never saw that anywhere. And I experienced it because there I was being accosted by Christian missionary type men, okay, who, if they had been behaving the way artificial intelligence suggested, should have applauded me. They should have said, "Right on, brother. Moses raised his hand over the sea. Right on, brother," right? According to all the answers I was getting from artificial intelligence, that these Christian missionary types and Messianic Jews even would respond in a certain way. In my personal experience, I didn't find that. Now, I wasn't prepared to talk about my personal experience over months of wearing shirts like this every single day out in public, okay? Including to a kosher grocery store that I'd originally been introduced to by my Nazi concentration camp survivor friend. I'd been taken to this grocery store originally by her. I'd never been to it before, nor even known it existed. And since that time, I've been there many times. I use it. I like the store. I don't tend to buy from it because it being a kosher store, the prices are high for somebody like me. And I buy things there, but usually it's like candles for celebration of Shabbat, or I'll buy occasionally wine. I no longer even buy wine at all now. Or I'll buy some small thing from there that's inexpensive. So I wore shirts like the ones I'm describing into that store for months, going there often. And I eventually did get a response from somebody. I heard somebody say, in my vicinity, though, not as if to me, it didn't seem like it was to me, but it must have been. I heard somebody say, "I'm going to ask the rabbi," because maybe two people were talking to each other about seeing what was on my shirt, and that did bring the kind of response that AI said it would bring in Jews. But pretty much the only people that use this food store are Jews, and there's a Jewish school, what you call I'm not sure what you call that, like a Jewish academy, like an alternative to going to public school, a Jewish private school nearby, where, you see students going in there with, I don't know how to pronounce the word, yarmulkes. I've seen yarmulkes since childhood, even at school when I was a child, but I don't know the word. So wearing a skull cap, you see the kids going in there to the store. Now, I'm not criticizing anybody from that store. I like that store and I still like it. Okay? And nobody got ugly with me, got in my face and said, "Sir, why are you wearing that shirt with that quote?" No one ever did that. So, you know, eventually I did learn, probably because, let's put it this way, when I went into that store, people ignored my shirts. Okay? So I go in there with one of my shirts. As soon as I got it done, I kind of wanted to show the people in there I'd got another shirt done. And I go and buy something there. And the response I got was, everybody in that store just ignored the shirt that was on me. No one ever said, "Oh, nice shirt," or anything. There were no comments about my clothing ever. So that must have been a subtle clue that these shirts were not going over. And so eventually, on my own, I got to the right answer on the whole topic of what I was doing. I eventually found my way to the answer, and now I've put that clothing away, and I'm not going to wear it in public. Okay, so I'm not sure what my point here was. I want to say that I did get an unexpected response in terms of artificial intelligence. The response I got from the Jews in that kosher store, I'd say it was an educated Jew's response to me, because I had worn shirts in there when I first started stitching messages on shirts. The first thing I stitched was my Jewish name. So I stitched my Jewish name on a shirt with the letters I bought from that store, and then I went to that store and bought some things. So people who worked there would have seen I have a Jewish name, and they would have realized or assumed I was Jewish. And so the response to me was tolerant. Okay, they were going to be tolerant that I was making a mistake, and no one was going to come up to me and embarrass me and or have an ugly confrontation with me over my shirts. They simply ignored what I was doing, and eventually I came around to the right answer. So I have no criticisms of them, zero. And I'm just saying that this one response I got, and it wasn't the only one, because I got that "come to church" from other Christians. I can think of one other occasion I'm remembering now where a young kid, maybe 19, 20 years old, with a tie on, and looking like what used to be Mormon missionaries. They used to dress like that. I don't know what kind of missionary this kid was, but he said the same thing to me. As I was passing by in one of my shirts, he said, "Come to church," like that to me, and I ignored him. So, there's two instances where artificial intelligence did not include in its answers this kind of response. I just want to note that.